BCA USA. My name is Valeria and Ngafor. I live in Texas. I am the granddaughter of Barbara Messiah, who lives in Delaware, Texas. Delaware, in Dover, Delaware. I stand in front of you today as a candidate that is very knowledgeable about processes. I come to you to ask for your vote. Over the years, I have had the honor of serving this esteemed organization in different capacities. We have worked, we have built, and we have moved our organization forward. But I believe that there's still a lot that we can do to move BCA to a better place. When I joined this organization in 2004 as a founding member of BCA Houston, today it is called BCA Southern Texas, I was voted the treasurer. I worked as the secretary, the vice president, and then the president. In these capacities, we carried out a lot of projects. I am going to focus on 3 main projects that we carried out. Our chapter, under my tenure as the vice president, worked to secure a borehole in Achila Valley. We did that because we understand that water is life. And so, this provided potable water to the neighboring communities. We also paid the salaries of Ndaka teachers. We believe that education is very important. It is important that we not only celebrate our culture, but we preserve our language as our identity. And that is why we focus on educating Valley children to not only speak the language, but to read and write it. I am literate in Ndaka. I write and I read it, and I speak it. When I did my dissertation, it was on Ndaka. So, it is a language that we take pride in. As the SG, after serving at the local level, at the chapter level, I stepped up at the national level as the Secretary General. And as the Secretary General, one of the things that I spearheaded was transforming our meetings from conference calls to Zoom meetings. When I joined, when I was the chapter president, I was part of NEC. All the meetings were on conference calls. When I became the SG, the first thing I did was to transition our meetings. So we started having NEO NEC meetings, condolence visits, town halls, virtual. At that time, a lot of people were not familiar with virtual meetings. So I brought my experience from my work because I was already doing virtual meetings and helped to modernize our process. One of the things that I also noticed was every year when we went to the convention, we were paying above $2,000 for audiovisuals. So I went to the president and said, have we ever thought about purchasing our own projector? I said, I can manage it. When we go to the convention, I will take care of it. So one thing I did was, when we went to Minnesota, I went to the convention. I got to Minnesota Tuesday before, on a Tuesday, the week of the convention, and I purchased the projector. And from there on, BCA has used that projector to date. That has saved the association tremendously. As the SG, I also worked with the executive to spearhead a scholarship program for our high schoolers. How did that come about? When I joined the education committee, one of the things that BCA had been doing in the past was to pay the salaries of NdahNchuyin teachers in Bali, around and surrounding villages. But because of the crisis, that stopped. And so we brainstormed in the executive, and I said, when I talk to a lot of BCA members, most of them always say, what is the need for me? What am I getting from BCA? Why is it that everything BCA does is out of the country? We're not doing anything in the United States. So we thought about starting a scholarship program for our young ones to encourage them. And that is why today you see our youth, most of them looking forward to getting that money. So that is one thing that BCA has done for us here. After serving as the SG, I stepped into the role of the Vice President in 2022. And as the Vice President, one of the things we did was to work with the fundraising committee, committee that I've served on for the past 4 years. We worked to bring in new donors, and we were able to purchase 2 ambulances and donate them to the district hospital. So I also worked as the chair of the national committee. One of the things that we did in that committee was to make sure that every occurrence is paid on time. I also stepped in when last year, 2 years ago, when we went to the convention, and the General Assembly voted to implement convention levy. There were a lot of questions that we had so many questions. How we were going to implement this, how we hold members accountable. There were so many questions that came from that. So the president asked me to step into the role of and chair the committee that addressed those questions. And the first thing I did was to tap from all the chapters. I reached out to chapter presidents to send representatives to that committee. And that is how we were able to come up with answers to the various questions that members had. I want to take the opportunity to thank all the chapter presidents and all the members from the chapters that worked with us in that committee to achieve the result that we have today. Today, thanks to all of you, our members, I can confidently say that we were able to bring down the price of convention packages because of what we collected. We collected almost 60,000 for that, for something that we just implemented. And considering the pushback that we got, I can say that it was a successful process. So, as I stand in front of you today, I want to say that it's not only about being a candidate, but it's about being a servant leader. I am ready to listen, I'm ready to unite, and I'm ready to build. Leadership is not only about our titles. This moment is not only about leadership, but it's also about our legacy. I want us to embrace our traditions while opening doors for a more inclusive and progressive leadership. As your president, I am committed to prioritizing unity across chapters. I am committed to developing a pathway for leadership for our youth, helping them to become more engaged. I had a meeting with our youth last week, and one of the things I took out of that meeting is they are very excited, they want to belong, but there's a lot that they don't understand about Association. So I am thankful that I was able to attend that meeting, because from that meeting, I was able to get the current youth president to be added to our next forum. I was able to educate them on the importance of joining committees, because that is one way they can become leaders of tomorrow. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is reducing the cost of convention, because we all know that there are so many people in the past. Since 2017, we've had an influx of youth into the United States, and a lot of them have not made it to any convention. Most of the time it's because of affordability. So if we can work together and really bring down the cost of convention, we will definitely increase attendance like we are seeing this year. Right now we have about 700 people, including 200 children, that have bought packages. So BCA is growing, BCA is working, and it's working for all of us. And so I come to you today to also say that we will continue to work with our seniors, our elders, and our notables to help us understand some of the nuances, some of the norms and expectations of our traditions. We can all attest to the fact that the Fund of Life just knighted some of our members. But how many of us really understand what those titles mean, and how many of us really understand how to address them? So we want to make sure that we have an avenue during our town halls where these things are explained, so that we really understand our culture. Our culture is not only about going to the convention and celebrating, but we want to live our culture. We want our children to have developed that pride for our culture. As your president, I commit to revamp our multiple center. So the multiple center is one of the biggest projects that BCA has ever done. And we stopped work during the crisis. Things are getting better in Bali, and we believe that it is time for us to repurpose that center and make it work for Bali people. I also commit to work. One more minute. Okay. I also commit to work with our stakeholders, especially with Bandeka and FedFed, to strengthen collaboration between BCA and these groups. Again, I stand in front of you to ask for your vote. Help and join me. Let's make BCA a place where everyone calls home. Let us not only celebrate our culture or preserve it, let's elevate it so that when we are done, we will leave this place better than we made it. Thank you very much.
Questions?
NdahNchuyin. Chicken jam for Party Puma BCA USA. In Gamitan Mandara. Come up with more tack this Mandara. Guy Buffer. Born. That's it. Questions for boy. Martin Battle Lakisri Money Colins. Bit of Misia. I feel like very more Colins. Maximum.
NdahNchuyin. Tap manjonga. Tap manjonga. Ayaw. Baba, Pana, Pampheba, Yangang Limba, Colins, Yunga, Mba, Uma, Okunju, Manju. se mbo munjat ba tanga mabo den bo ya na munjat ba for manjen ka intelligent mbatinga ye yokuba sunchumbi bo matuma NdahNchuyin ba yo katuma NdahNchuyin imolo ati manda oba ba gami masia ndo chatinda so ndi numa kino le katua njinga ye bani ngombe ndi bonga BCA akubongo nda me ba get ba BCA member manda kubonjo bongo me manda ko BCA member bala abonga ye nji nda ncha kiba BCA member bo manda ba nwang ni senga ye bondi bo man eni nda ko ba BCA member ba boto yo jele ba bankot bo se to ba kime to bo ba BCA member mba moni ncha tinda ni ncha kiba ba mas bo masia nga ka kukunju ndio mwana mako ma katoli mako ndi ka bo ma katoli mako BCA USA ka famo mo onke yi boni fun scholarship ya ka intina tete ma tora de mwana le moment la bita ndi ka wanda bitu aba ko famo very kele tông thì cả ước ngoại thì miền kia cả vợ tu cả ngoại mà ngóng ngoại thì mẹ có phong thì ban sa lên cả vợ tua cả ye bữa ai tầm thì bữa ai làm buồn mẹ cả cấp thì constitution ban sa cả jun ke mà jolly và có phong thì charge bin sket cheap mà thì open mẹ cấp thì có được cái số ban sa đấy 2004 donc c'est une conformité pour America 2014. Il katoma ngongaka suyu ya katoma toi katoma ngole ya katora ngabon katora c'est ngula ngule ka BCA so nga join BCA ka join BCA sia join committee tangambo baba ka medical question joint committee akawo education committee ka joint committee le miba ne committee chair committee le ka chair committee le BCA ka ticket kemi nje mu me amu ke mo na ta yu ya ni mu ni kiti ngo ni me yinga ba ma ba yingu kiti no scholarship yu ba fu ni scholarship aba mu ba ka create scholarship le ya ndi ma BCA link even use my apply scholarship aka native any link or kiti wongo member BCA link when change India aka credit academic tiba look at scholarship BCA ndi plan our education chip mbongo lo uncho wa PS mbongo lo uncho ma financial committee go from the FRC ya PS your process improvement ka was secretary ma financial committee ga chowo anatinga yende uma committee le yingan ibuga law decision yo bona committee ka bonga okomon fin yumi okomon to fin yum okomon juwa bo ma committee le oken ma chi bi ni chi kap before bonju ti to chi so you fa ka bonga ngong yo me ni bi ni chi kap ma si ni tum ni list to fa bonga ye bo contribute ni list alo wu ni ba ni yo ke yi ba ni ye kun ju ni ande bo yo lo ni ambulance ni bo yo ni MPC we use education of Africa. I'm a chief capacity, my younger and here in the farm. In Katin courtyards, the more via. I can get on Kamjam, I won't get a woman in Kuma community, one community. Jinga, your bomber will talk, Yungan, Manda, you get up. So, deciding about via. Lumlen in Kumwang, the Amulum, you can cheat in Junte, you know, via. In Joe Bimbi, Yunga, free education in Jua, in Kumundi, Mafaya, you know, your woman with the farm. My younger woman, Kabumulo, Ingoma, Carolina, Siano Carolina, I'm a chapter president. The Cabo chapter president, Carolina's Cabo Bonchamita. ni bon chomi tan la ka tu bon ka wo ba ga ka wa meeting ni lum ni ka tu ni ko ndai tai abi la lu mitet ni go mi ko tin tu ngam ni chok ni go ba bol met fu ngam ni ni Carolina ndi ti chapter li lungu ndio bani yuwa Carolina ni was 40 years of BCA in 2028 afa nka ba ayanga mbona ka tien men ma Oklahoma ni nga ko ma hospice ma na tinga chapter le ko mo ko jobita ma cheni mo fu ngam ni ka wangling bom ti sen ka pekunju ntung chi kunju matita bo wor matita ni no ndio ka tunga academic church ba anu bi tedli academic church ba ka jit sen pe ba kunju ndio tunga kiti sen chile nda kunju kiti MPC ya ke ngong bume an ka bi BCA ko mo ngi chi mo le ma yenga ba fit ma yebo mo ma senti mo le ke senti ngong ke o me mo BCA ni to ngong ke bo ngong ba ti ole me ndon chimasi decide say yo nga ye get matien tu ma bo tu ta ma bisi a matien ni tu ta ko ma bisi ko nga ye o get ma li ta chu bin kum bon ton che ni tu ta ko matien ni tu ta ko ze ko nga get ma jin tie ni wa da ko ni mo ni mu ta o tu ta ko ma non go do get ma step by step tu ta ke tu ni demti kitinga ke ni ngo mo e njit mango kitinga ba fit ma yo ma se dingo ngo e muni minimum ngo chubi men ticket ni wa ma yo ma se mbeti station go en fait mbon munyi o wonji ndo ba ken mo wongo ma boni bo ka jit chuma boni bo mo lo mbeti ya kuna bi me bini njon ku mo yi ai BCA ba nga chunu no ba kwa bo chuwa kilango mo nga oke ba fait bo bisi bo bangam mu do yem ya na bo join BCA njinga bo o fit ma kupti yung yu ko ma je o kula chiku ni kupti mo yung ba yung ka nang ya ma ji nje ndi bo kupti mo ti no ma ya jam chamu yo bon ke ye mo ma bisi a yinga amba tinga e mi ndio ndi akonga anko ta ko mo le ku yi ki mo le amonga ye ta ye ndi won ndi an ba tin jam ni to ma ye ke sen jam mo bisi ikele jam ni ndara la mo ko chuwi abo pa abo ngu tinam ita sri banga bisi nonjo choma bisi ya ngwani bisi ko ndanda ndibo ke abo nun kap toro ke bum beti kap toro beti ke kam to lo ya ngo ba mu ma ji mo na mo beti mo kla yewa ngwani lando ma tinga ndi ku mo ya konga ngwani re lana ndo me ma yenga muto lo ni manji ba to senti kebo tinchi kebo ngwani bo ke abo ngwani minute ke abo ngwani kam tot ya bo ngani membership a chi ba mo le ngungo men ngungo ta bo ngungo ni ta ngungo ndo bo ngun te ko yo yo bo ke bu me ndani asu fa ni mo fa ani le fa ko nda ma fa ko le bo yan yan fa ma le fa bo fa ni ya bo fa mbo manager software engineering ni fa ni data ni fa ni ma bomti lung bo ma bomti number bo ma bomti ngani bo le bo yo tu fa so mbani to ko fu ile mo ko abon yo ni bo fu ni chumo ka ni ga spray pack ni spray bo muni ko ma sentibo me lan me no wa ni bo lan me o man chi ni beti yu no wa ni beti ni beti mo tumo chumo bo afa yi mo asi fa yi mo ni to ma fa ma bisi bati fa yi mo ni to ga ba yu bo man ka bo ni na chi ba bo ma andi sa ba ko na no mo beti mo ya chumo no yi bo ni na chi bo ma andi sa bo a bisi ko na fa bo chumo bo nga mando mo ndo fon keno mo to yengo keme maji yung ya ifa bonga nkitinga pa yu bo bomba ba ga get ma kiti ba yu bo ni ta nju mi bo get ma kiti ba yu bo ni wong lo me ko get ma to ma bisi akaba lo mo alanta ba yu bo ona bisi o ba mo ba nju mo in tien ba kuti bo bo to ni chun chen bisi nga ba ju tien re tu ka bo ju ya bo mo be tinga lo la mo ba fi ma wa ba yu bo ninga ti ba yu ni beti yawa ko a bon ko mun beti ya bo yu bo nga bon ko yi ni ma ja ni bo nga ko ja nga lo ni kan nga bo ba yu na ti ya yu ndo mu to yin ti ya ma kuti ba yu bo senti sen chi ni jinga bo bo ga leadership bi se nyo mun ni ron ni fu ni o president am fu ni kwata abanda am fu ni ba mo ge competition fu ni tan ge bi mo no bo ko mun to ba bo bon chen ba ti wo mun dun ta ma sam ni wo mi ga ko bo nga ye ba ba ma no mu so ya fa ba ga mu do to jit nda tu nda kun tu nda to chapter, Betty, never couldn't die. Think about 40. On one of us in Boma say about home to Boma sinking about him as a TBC or never move. BCA or continue again with that shit. Far, Timon Fabo. Then the only another one, multiple center NdahNchuyin. Annual cost in NdahNchuyin camp creator $500,000. You are in the massing, the lemon that Galon Yanka. Ndamboket. But in my home to Bukajit, keeping them met. We will make him a home to figure. But in my home, now the home. Nobody. Here, Chamo. Cabon no jump. Cabon no one kunju. Cabon no over you. Here, jump. Young Hatna to met. Muntoba, Tatua. Munto come from the open two. My birth 7th. Ngam in met. I want you, I want you. You got to come to make it in that. But if my young woman alone, you don't go to swear. Mbatin no one. Tiba Wukat. Kitty book. One in 2 cat about can move. One in kitty cat about can your bone Vancouver. Kitty no tradition, no culture. Heritage book very important. Identity book very important. Mubani, you must ask me no Mubani. Money total. I want money 22nd of Sogamba and Mia and Muantua. One Tora income from Niole. We don't go from your town to win met, but Tam Jenning or a bow met. Don't more normally a cheer. Normally, Boba Bartek and Omotochia. Me Boba Bafa for saying, Yabonga, or then Chimara. La Mudotanga Batambo. And Tien no, to did move me on your way. Bomfabin Park, and you can jam money from the family.
Chuyin, find you can jump on you, young men, and Gamutan Mandaba. You are more you man, but I have question. So, NdahNchuyin, Majambo, Mamboni Betty, but 10 minutes, you can't talk to that, not to go in book, so don't find Betty.
Bani. Listen. Ma Valeria, Dr. Colins, I'm so impressed about your presentation. But I just want to make sure you both can clarify to the audience here, right? So we can understand. I've listened to your presentation, I had it documented. The first thing I want to ask, so you can clarify so we can understand, is BCA and NdahNchuyin. You're going to answer that. The second thing, I've listened to your conversation. This organization has been on for over 30 years. They've been doing the same stuff over and over and over and over. I hear you guys talking about some stuff like this, talk about multipurpose. I want you both to situate multipurpose in terms of location, in terms of what you actually want to do for multipurpose that will benefit the Balinima community. There's a distance where multipurpose is to where the main road is. How you're going to actually get maybe a road that is possible. If I leave now and I want to go to Bali to do an event there, if it's functional, can I just go there, take my crowd over there? Is the road possible? I want to understand that part. The other thing is, you guys are talking about, we've had an influx of people here from 2017 to now. We want to know exactly what you guys are going to do. The convention, if I can afford, what about the guy who came in yesterday? He cannot. He doesn't even know. He's seen Bangkok One Bibila on television. He wants to meet him. But there is a package, there's a convention fee, and all that stuff. What are you guys going to do to break that gap? This is what we want to hear. We've listened to all this stuff, but I want to hear specifics. Give us specifics. Thank you. That's the question I want to ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much, for your question. So So I'm going to take the first question you asked was regarding
It's BCA and NdahNchuyin.
the BCA and NdahNchuyin. No. BCA is an association governed by the 501c. So in NdahNchuyin is different from BCA. That's why you have many NdahNchuyins in Maryland. And you have BCA, the join the NdahNchuyin and join BCA. Because BCA is not NdahNchuyin. In the real sense, it is not. It is an association of Bali people and friends of Bali coming together to celebrate their culture.
Can you get to my second question, please?
Your second question about the youth, the influence of youth coming into the United States. Yes, it is true that over the years, convention has become unsustainable because of the price. But this is not a BCA problem. It is an inflation problem. If we look at the cost of things, it's not just in the United States. Everywhere. We can get the price of gas today. Maybe 3 months ago, you could fill your tank with $25, and today you're paying about $59 to fill the same tank. But in BCA, our membership dues has remained the same for the past 20 years. So one of the pathways to reducing convention costs is to increase membership dues. So when I'm given the opportunity to become the president, that is the first thing I want to do. Work on increasing our membership dues by $50 like we did with the levy. Because when we do that, that will help reduce our convention packages or even take it out, depending on the numbers. Right now, our membership is 1,800, and that membership will continue to grow. If we multiply that by $50, then we can definitely run a convention. But that is not the only problem. We have to also understand that because of the inflation, prices are going up. Let me give an example. In 2015, when we hosted the convention, the cost of a plate of food was $22. Today, for the convention that we'll be having in Maryland, the cost of a plate of food is $88. So think about it. On Friday, the cost is $88. On Saturday, the cost is $88. On Sunday, the cost is $88. Multiply that by 3. What is the cost of the package? The most expensive package is $150 if you bought it during the discount time, right? But if you bought it after, maybe it went up, but it still doesn't meet up with the cost. And one thing that members have to understand.
Mali, can you round up the last situate BCA multipurpose in terms of the road and yes, situate that.
So yes, when the
Go ahead.
Okay. So if we look at the multipurpose center, one of the things we can all agree is that when it was started, it was a great endeavor. It was that center was going to be used for many things, hosting parties, having a library. But today, even in the United States, many of us don't visit libraries. So we cannot expect people in Bali to do the same. And where it is located, because of the road, it is very difficult for people to use it for a venue, for their party. So it is not only that we have the building, but we have to also figure out how to make that road possible so that people can, when they, if they have to rent the hall, then they'll be able to get there easily. So one thing we can do is to use it maybe for dialysis center, for example. That's one use that you can do, because when you use it for something that is a need, people will go there. It's just like a hospital. When you have a hospital somewhere doesn't matter where that hospital is. When people are sick, they will go look for the doctor. You go look for the doctor because it is a need. And so if we can repurpose it to be a need where people need the services that are offered in that center, we will be able to use it to improve the lives of people in Bali. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, how many minutes? Like how many minutes? Okay, there are 3 questions here. I'll begin with the first one. The first one, what was the first one?
It's BCA and NdahNchuyin.
Okay. So one of the key things, if we look at the way NdahNchuyin are structured, I can give you an example, like in Carolinas, where I'm chapter president of Carolinas. It's just like 2-3 months ago that I'm a dual president of chapter and NdahNchuyin. It's just like 3 months ago that most of my members knew that to be a BCA member, you're not supposed obliged to be a NdahNchuyin member. It was a tussle for me to explain to them. So if you want to look at BCA and NdahNchuyin, there is something there that we need to be able to work hard to define. If not work hard, we need to sensitize. So what I will do as a BCA president, 1, there is need for restructuring in BCA, one way or the other. I will want to come up with what we call a tiger team to sit down. Look at BCA. Look at the structure of BCA with 14 chapters. With so many NdahNchuyins around the US that are created. I know looking at it as an association, looking at NdahNchuyins, as being different, but there is need to do some work to see how we can adjust or we can make BCA to have something. It must not be NdahNchuyin under BCA because it's never going to happen like that again. But we want to look for a way. If we don't want to, if there are no changes we're going to be doing, we're going to have to sensitize people to understand what it takes to be a BCA member and how BCA is related to NdahNchuyins. People don't know. So when this question comes up, it's a very valid question because so many people don't know about it. But I just want a team that all of us, or most of our very important people in our chapters, will be part of it, look at it very keenly, look at a way that we can come up with something that will be very helpful for our community to know it. But at the end of it, I want everybody is every time to be part of BCA. And if we are part of BCA, then that will be very easy. So I'm going to work to double, triple, quadruple the number of BCA members. And in that case, it will be very easy to sensitize this and to make this, known by everybody. That is 1. 2. Multipurpose center, the location. I have been there. And I went there with a truck, a very big truck, big like this, right inside. I drove inside there, so a truck can go right inside. There is nothing, it's possible, right inside there. There is a road there, which is a movable road. The only thing is that it is a little bit situated like outskirts. I went to school in Bali, in the Bali, which is like the opposite side, and this is the opposite side. It's a little bit situated there, but people, if you go there, you'll see how people are invested. People are coming close to it. I don't see any issue with that location, the way it is today going forward. The only thing we have to do is to come together, look at what we can do. It is us, it is our beauty, it's our cash, it's our money there. We want to look at it, 1. Look at the fact that it was a multi-purpose center for events, for IT center, for library. Look at it, whether that's going to work today. If that's not going to work, we look at what we can come up. That's our team. We already voted to revamp this committee, which was the multi-purpose center committee. This committee will sit down, look for options. Look at it. If we want it to still be that event center, that library, that IT center that we want it, let them bring us the pros and the cons. Bring us how it's going to fit in this modern world. We will talk about it as an assembly and all of us. If you want to think that you want it to be a clinic, I heard that from other people. That's fine. If you want to think that we want to donate it, that's okay. Put them down in writing so we can explain to our people, we can look at it, all of us together as a family, as a BCA family. It is our investment. What do we want to do with this building? That's going to benefit us, benefit our community, benefit Bali, for the good of all of us. That's very important to me. I have my own ideas, and I'm going to put them together all to present to that committee. And those ideas, as I said, event center, IT center, library, clinic, donate, I will present that to the committee and they will work on it. 3, cost. About cost, all of us can tell. Everything is expensive. Even me, when I go to the market, everything is very, very expensive. If you want to look at BCA today, when BCA started the registration for $100, If you want to look at the growth today, it is 0.8% growth. That is, things that were sold for $100 then are sold for $180 today. So all of us can attest to that. That at some point there is need for some growth, something. We may need to increase our registration. Which, of course, as a president, I will work with all of us to still present something to see if we can increase it. But in addition to that, we are a group of 2,000 people. Why can't us work with partnerships? Why can't we work with airlines? Like, if we work with American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, at some point in time we'll get like partnership with them. When people are coming for BCA, we get codes that they're going to give us discounts, 30%, 20% for everybody before you come to BCA. That's a lot of cost cutting. Why can't we partner with hotels? Why can't we decide that we're partnering with Hilton, or we're partnering with Marriott? That wherever we are going, we have partners everywhere. Wherever we are going, they give us discounts. If we are working with Hilton or with Marriott, we're going to Texas, we're going to North Dakota, we're going to South Dakota, there is something, they have a partnership there. You can partner with them and we'll get discounts, 20%, 30%. That is possible. So we all have to come together, look for the best ways to work together. We need to increase our registration first. And secondly, we all need to work together to look for all these methods to be able to increase us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Without any lengthy explanation, direct question. So I've seen those who have indicated. We'll try to get them. Valeria is going to come up. Perhaps is going to come up. And
Move that counter question. Move that counter question.
then we are also going to give the answers to at most 2 minutes.
Sorry? Okay. Thank you guys for coming to talk to us. I actually have 2 questions, but it doesn't have to be answered here because it might be something that you guys will have to look into it once you become the president. Number 1 is Number 1, Ma did mention that it was 200 kids that were registered for this coming convention and also 700 members. My question is there anything in place for children with special needs at the convention? Because that's, I haven't been to the convention for the past 5 years. Reason being that they have those services for kids, but we are in the United States, and I think that we're very much aware that there are kids that need a little bit more help. Children with autism, I have one, I have autism. Children with ADHD, children with Down syndrome that needs more help when they go to those conventions. So when I went to that convention, if I take my son with me, I'll have to switch with my husband, who is 5. I will stay in a hotel with him because they don't have the resources to accommodate them. It's not everybody that can babysit a child with a special need. You have to have a special training. So I just want to present that to you guys that if that's something that you guys can look into consideration. I'm probably just one of 1,000 that is speaking because I have friends there that were doing the same thing. They were staying in the hotel room. You know that you have 4 children, but you only see 3 come out. And we all know our culture, people try to protect, they're protecting them in their own way, but I think that these kids need to be included. They should have their own talent show as well. They should be all included so that we, the parents, can come in there and enjoy the convention just like the rest of them. And then the second thing that I was going to present, that one is not really more of a question, that's why I said it's not really questions. The second thing I was going to talk about is, we say charity begins at home. I've been to conventions when they bring other musicians from other cultures, they're given an hour, and our own body musicians sometimes have to scramble and beg and wait to perform. I'm not biased or anything, but I'm going to speak on behalf of my husband, Pa Bali. He's going to kill me, but I'm going to speak on his behalf because he's not that kind of person out there, but I'm going to speak on his behalf because I know what he has provided to this community in terms of culture and music. When he goes to perform, it's either he fights and get 3 or 5 minutes, or he goes to the floor when everybody is completely gone. The last convention I was in Texas. I might not be saying their name right. Performed for about 30 minutes, and they were almost canceling him from performing because he took a lot of time. So my thing is, if we're a group of Bali people and we have a lot of musicians, why is it that we find it so much to invite other musicians and then our own is in the house scrambling to perform as if they're begging to belong when that is our home? So that is my own message to you guys. If you guys can take it off there. But the number one thing is please let's include our children that need a little bit more support so that the parents can be part of that conversation. Thank you.
See my hand. You are not alone.
Oh,
You read it.
I
Look,
know.
you are not alone.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I know.
you got it.
Well, maybe. Yeah, thank you so much, Valeria, for that. I think it's very important. Those are 2 very important points, and they are well noted. So I'm just soliciting all your support. That support me, Colins, though, to be the president of BCA, and all of this will be history. You know, I am coming there like, at least I've been there, being part of it, coming there with very new ideas. Those are some of the new ideas that we all will work together to make it to come to fruition. It is very important. And I think I cherish Papa a lot. He supports me all the time. I've been in his concerts, his events. It's very important to sell our musicians. So I promise you, vote for me, that will come to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madel, and I think you spoke for many parents regarding your child, and it is very unfortunate that it's been an oversight for us as an organization, and I truly believe that is something that we can fix going forward. Sometimes it is not because we don't care. Remember, most of the services that are rendered, the babysitting, all of that, is through volunteer. So again, understanding the makeup of our children will also help in the planning. So I think that is something that we can easily fix. With regards to consuming Bali, I think it's not, music is not the only place where we fall short when it comes to consuming Bali. It's just like if you have a Bali person that has a business, a Bali person that has a hospital, so one of the things that I plan to do as the president is to get our different experts, different professions, where we have a list of that, where we encourage members to consume Bali. So let's start by supporting our own. And one of the things about convention is when you look at our convention, we have a blueprint, right? So there are certain days, and that the day that we will bring a musician will probably be on the Saturday, which is normally run by the chapter. So again, if that chapter decides to bring someone from outside, we want to make sure that we encourage the chapter to start by supporting our own. So thank you very much.
The next person is Vice.
Can I come here? NdahNchuyin. Thank you guys. Thank you, Valeria and Dr. Colins, for coming to the Maryland and DMV. And I think we are lucky to have you put on NdahNchuyin. I'm especially glad to see both of you standing here. This is unlike Cameroon, This is, I think the Cameroon people should learn something from us. We bring our candidates at the top. The campaign. I also saw when I came in here, Valeria went and greeted me, Colins. That also made me so happy because it showed me, because that's what I wrote something once. We should not be enemies, and I see that we are not enemies. We two are not enemies. So kudos to both of you. What I know about BCA USA is that most of the time, before the election, the candidate and the person who will be president has already been chosen. So I don't know who that person will be chosen. But that is BCA USA. So my one question, and I'm going to be very brief, and I want you, Bad Doctor, to start first, and then, because you are a man, I want you to start first, and then Valeria. Should a woman be the president of BCA USA? Short and simple. I have so many questions. That is my first question, but I'll sit down and I can come back later on. Should a woman be the president of BCA USA?
Thank you so much. That is a very great question. I think it's a question that I've answered in so many scenarios. We are a 501c in America. We have a constitution that we follow. And in that constitution, there are rules there. And me standing here, Valeria standing here, we are all vetted to run as presidents of BCA USA. And if we all were vetted and passed to be standing here to run for those positions, it means that all of us are qualified to be presidents of BCA USA.
Thank you for your question, and I think as a woman, of course, yes. And I would say that BCA has had very strong men as presidents. BCA has been in existence for over 38 years. And I think that the time is right for a woman to be president.
That I will speak in English. Doctor, thank you for coming. Now, Valeria, thank you for coming. My question is very simple. I think it follows from what Basigala asked. When Doctor thanked BCA for where it is today, he said, but I hear that he was a founding member, Valeria was a founding member. I remember some founding members who were women. What will I tell this little girl who aspires to be a BCA member and probably one day to be a president? Colins, what will you tell her? Because Njika went to the bar, but I didn't hear.
Corrected that she wasn't a founding member. Corrected. She wasn't. She's a member.
When I read, I don't follow BCA too much, but when I read, it seems that the contribution of women, and we are talking about inclusivity, I see that it is not given much weight. And Colins, as a modern man who aspires to practice inclusivity, the mindset of does that mean that you forgot that Ma was a vice president, that she's the current vice president now as we speak, and I hear that she has been there since 2004? Yes. I don't want to take away anything because you have a great resume, but it is the mindset about BCA as a man with raising 3 girls that I really, I'm very reflective as I stand here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think just to piggyback into my answer, I will begin with one. I have 2 girls, 2 daughters, and I know how important it is for them to be in leadership. I want to tell you that in every, assuring you She is capable because our constitution says clearly everybody can be president of BCA, inclusive. But come to top of it, when I mentioned bars, I said the bar tab. Every bar tab of BCA has been a man. That's where I was talking about the leaders of BCA as presidents, step by step. I did not say, I was not talking about founding members. Valeria was not a founding member, by the way. So I want to thank you for that. So I was talking about that, but know that she has that room to be the president of BCA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for your question. So I would say that, I was saying to my daughter that BCA is an association that is inclusive. That is why I'm standing here. And I want every woman, every girl, to grow up knowing that everything is possible. Because when I talk to everybody, and I know Colins agrees with me, that we all have the same aspiration for BCA. We want an association that is united, that is strong, and that is more inclusive. So the issue is not whether I'm a woman, but it is I am a qualified woman. Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bajana.
Yeah, Ngafor should have NdahNchuyin in German. When I go back, Pani kambo ni uma. Mi yo benen mo me ya, yo wa bi yo benen me ya. Video, bonu na bi get back to my la pa na ni mo. Non ba ko chunga mo ka chu mo ni German. When I go back to pa in German to ba ne na to me na tu not tu wa muta fa ni ka mo me ni o fi mo mo bi da tang ga ni ne pen tang me ya ni mo ba ka ni ya o tu ga ko ile ko ko nga ka ga ti ko bi bo fo on sama nga fa ni ka mo no lo yo ko ni chi tu ya ba ni sa ina. Can I do my own interpretation of myself? I just spoke from German. Yes. I thank you all so much for taking up and putting yourself for us to re-examine you. I'm old now, so I can die. Because it means that I have children that can actually question the world and live. And then the question of it, somebody answered. You guys answered brilliantly.
Yeah.
Because the limitation that I really wanted to hear was, are you fighting for ideas or you are fighting for sexism? Are you fighting because you're male and some is female, or some is handicapped and some is running and not running? Are you fighting a game of ideas or you're fighting a game of personality? Young girl, you might be tanga. I won't know people moving. Cabo man, you do some good. Yeah, chimbo, carabong, gonga, chimbo, cana, and your winter, Betia. Winter between the bucket. Me, I won't have move. We like the people who are already behind because when we start fighting the fight, it's not a fight of ideas. It's fight of whether I'm handicapped or not handicapped, I'm male or not female. It means that you're rejecting reality. You're rejecting ideas that are actually building you. It means that you are knowing or unknowingly underdeveloping yourself. For just saying that I'm either a man or whatever you're going to call yourself. So you're answered already, and don't love that. The multi-purpose center, I heard about that, you guys talk about it. the question again is, what does multi-purpose mean? What value are you guys going to add to what is today? The multi-purpose that you guys talk about, there's going to be a competition, there's going to be this and that sort of stuff. What does multi-purpose mean? Does multi-purpose mean there's going to be a computer center? Does it mean there's going to be where you're going to train children? In the world that you're living in today, what is that multi-purpose? What does it mean to you? That structure that they're going to build there, that they start building sometime, what does that multi-purpose mean to you? And by your definition, are you going to reject the structure because you find multi-purpose at some point that will fit what you call multi-purpose, or you are going to repurpose the multi-purpose to define the day that is today? Thank you. The Chumo Keke, I'm trying to get a moment.
Should I speak in German? Should I also speak in German? Should I start in German? Okay. But I started in German. I don't know if you understand the situation, but let me come to the English. So I want to just go a little bit like short about resumes. I think running for this role as a BCA president should not be about gender. It should not be about you're a woman or you're a man. It should be about what you can bring for BCA. BCA is a big, close to 2,000 people association with a lot to do, a lot of initiatives to handle. We don't want to come here to sell it about gender. We want to sell it about ideas. Because what works is ideas. It's not about gender. So I just wanted to just clear that. It's not about the fact that I'm a man or I'm a woman. It's about the fact that my resume clearly states that I can do it. I can change BCA. I can take BCA from 1 to 10. So thank you. Going to the part of multi-purpose center, I think, as I said, it's not about me. Multi-purpose center is an initiative that took years for that for us to raise the funds for it. Fundraiser year after year. I came to this country, 2014, I was part of the VIP for multi-purpose center. So it's not about me, it's about us. So from my point, my thought is like, any ideas I have, I will put them down. As I mentioned here, the original idea is there as it was stated. We have it. When we talk of multi-purpose, it's about different things happening in that building. I mentioned at least 3. I mentioned IT, I mentioned library, I mentioned event. So it's about different things happening in the same construction of the same building. When I went there, I saw a lot. I saw how it looked like. I could not really go inside. I saw different, I equally saw the space that we have outside, which we can do other things in that space. So when we talk of repurposing, it is about sitting down as a committee or as a group to look at what works today. What is there? Yes, is what we have on paper today. And it can still work. We don't want to throw it out of the window because we've not discussed it. We want to look at it. We want to assess it. So I just want to say that I will form a team. I will come out with a team, which we already have it voted. Like we are revamping. We are the committee that was the multi-purpose committee. We voted in our leadership summit to reopen that committee, to restart that committee. So I will simply just add a tiger team to that committee to come out with very great ideas that we all are going to work on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lynn, for your question. Yes, it is not about gender, it's about ideas. It's about what we bring on the table. And as you can all see, I have a deep knowledge and understanding of our process. The multipurpose center, when it started, one of the things that was supposed to be done in the center was to have a library. But we have to move with time. We can't just stay in the same place. And so the way we look at the place, one of the things that I would do differently is having that conversation, not only among BCA members, but stakeholders in Cameroon, because when we sit here and decide on how a building should be used in Cameroon, we miss the point. Those who are using that building should be able to tell us the need for that building. We may have great ideas, but they don't work. because that's what we see. We have to be able to have that conversation with people on the ground to understand their needs so that we repurpose the center to meet that need. Thank you very much.
After my meeting, should be straight to the question. What test for one
Let it pass me. No, let it pass me. They don't already ask me a question. They don't already ask me a question. No.
Okay. Bani. Chama. Bani. Chama. You want to remember CEC. Believe you must CEC. BCA. At the permanent committee of BCA. Constitution and electoral committee. Right? I'm going to draft money. So your question was very simple. And I will say it in English. So what I was saying is I'm a member of CEC. Oh, me officer, don't pass me our time. So my question is, how prepared are you to defend and uphold the constitution of BCA and bylaws? The whole question is okay, because we will visit it in the near future. And now, Vice President, Dr. Levina, it will be the Jamon. It will for me no way, Jamon Bumiaba, I won't be no kind. BCA again so mum beti ba candidate ngaka boto yawamu ma defend kan bo ma BCA any nimbamba nisa nimboyme achu fambo bina, and I will say it in English so that I can explain it in English. How willing are you to uphold and defend the constitution and bylaws of BCA in all and every circumstance?
That is so many times. Let's
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you for your question. So, yes, every association that thrives must have its guiding principles. And I believe that our Constitution,
Can we be silent in the back, please?
what guides us. I am committed to respecting it. Start by me respecting it and ensuring that every decision that is taken, every resolution that are taken are aligned with our Constitution. Every amendment that we do must align with our Constitution. So I will definitely accept our Constitution.
Thank you so much for that question. I am an institutionalist. I am a manager at work, and following rules, procedures is my daily thing. I want to promise that I will uphold the Constitution. I will follow the Constitution. I will make sure that each and every one of us, our committees, follow the Constitution. I just want to state an example like today. There is a fact that as a candidate I have, which is about election procedure. And in that election procedure, we have a bylaw that we all were vetted, me and Valeria were vetted using those bylaws. And today, the CDC is trying to change that bylaw in 2 weeks or 3 weeks to our election. I'm thinking that somebody as an institutionalist like me, I don't think that's something I will go with. I would think that I will follow it and follow it all the time and make sure that there is never going to be a change 3 weeks to an election. Thank you.
After that,
if you are moving things back here, try to be listening about quietly. People are listening to what you are saying here. Thank you. I am sorry to make it go back to the Moscow Center. Do any of you know when that building started, when the foundation stone was there? And how much money has been collected for the multi-purpose center because, hold on a minute, I'm going somewhere with that. Because I heard my doctor just said they have dumped about 500,000. Okay, from the beginning or from where? From the beginning. Okay, I'm going to tell you that goes down very full, very wrong. Because I remember 1 year when we were sitting out there for president, I think they raised about $400,000 for that place. So that even that money was in the church. Do you know why you do the Friday night gala, the Friday night party? That's the question. That's the question. They do that party every year for when it started to build us a people center. So that's the question. So are we going to, this is the question. Are we going to raise money from people again to go to the center, or are you going to start up with money to complete that?
Can I?
So I think the good thing
Hold on. So the former president wants to correct something. Can you give him the floor, please?
Yeah, but we have never raised 400,000 in 1 year. This is an accumulation of money that have been raised from inception to now. Even me, who was the chair, do not even know when the foundation started. I don't think it was somewhere.
I think you've heard all the concerns. I think that's something that you can look into. Let's give Master the last chance to ask the question. Because we are pressed.
Please, can we start talking? Okay, my question to both of you, thank you for actually volunteering to run. And I know both of you from the fundraising committee as my workers there, volunteers. What I want to ask is, today you have decided to run as president of the association. If in case you are not voted, those brilliant ideas you have for the association, what are you going to do with them?
Thank you very much, Pastor. If in case you are not the ideas that I have, definitely share the president. It is not about moving to my community. So it's not whether I'm going to vote or not. It's to help us.
It's very important. And it's not much
So whatever ideas I have, and I also look like the table in other way. So, Colins and I, Colins and I have a very cordial relationship. And so because we are running against each other, does not mean that we are not friends.
All right,
we are still friends.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Master, for your question. I think I have very brilliant ideas, and I think you know it from fundraising. All the committees will be together. And I want to assure this I run in this same position 2022, and I did not make it for whatsoever reason. But after 2022, I went to a chapter, I built that chapter from scratch to a house building. That's just telling you what I will do if I'm not voted as president. I will be there to share my ideas, to make sure that BCA is whatever it has to be. Thank you.
That's good. So you guys did good.